Welcome back to Softcore History. I'm your host for the week, Dan Regester, and I am joined as always by Rob Fox and Jake Goldman. What's up, boys?
What is going on?
It's been so long since I've seen you.
We did our Barbenheimer. Well, we only did half of Barbenheimer last night. We did the important half.
Barbie, of course.
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah. A historically significant
Why
movie.
watch a movie about history when you can watch a movie that makes history?
I think they both did pretty well in the box office.
They both hit,
Yeah.
did really
It
well.
was a dope movie. No spoilers. Oppenheimer's great.
We're going to give our review a little bit on the Patreon this week to go along with the topic of that episode.
Patreon.com/Softcore History. You get that, and every week you get 2 additional episodes. One, kind of a normal episode like this, and then a kind of more interactive listener episode base.
Voicemail episodes, etc. Huge catalog. It's all evergreen. So check it out. $5 a month doesn't just get you, 2 episodes a week or whatever. It gets you just a month's worth of months and months worth of content.
Mm-hmm.
Like endless content.
Yes.
And of course, we have an entire catalog on the main feed, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go back and listen to some episodes like the Oppenheimer episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually spoiled a lot of the movie for me with that episode, to be honest.
You're welcome. It's a good companion. I would
Good companion, but also a lot of things that weren't in the movie.
Yeah, no, there were a couple of moments that Rob got really excited about. We thought would be in the movie, and they teased
weren't.
us.
They
teased us.
He was on a train. It was like they knew.
They flirted with it. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
Because when that fat guy walked in, I was like, oh, he's going to be the one?
yeah,
It's going to be him?
Nope. So go ahead, listen to that Oppenheimer episode. Listen to all of our episodes. Maybe not the early ones. I don't know. Those are
you can
Garage
listen to
Band
all
days.
Listen to all of them.
Today, we are going to do an episode that I wrote while I was on mushrooms.
I was going to ask, did you stay up all night to do this?
I did. I was up till 5, and then the British Open came on. I'm like, I might as well stay up.
Good Lord.
Yikes.
So we saw the movie at 10:30. It's a 3-hour movie. I got home at like 2:15 in the morning.
Yeah, I got home at about 2:30 because I dropped Dan off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually have no idea what this episode's about.
Perfect.
Yes.
It's a surprise to you, too.
It's a surprise to me as well.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
No one knows what the episode is on.
It could be nonsense. You are forewarned.
I'm here for it. It's software
Whatever.
history
Yeah.
I was on an eighth of mushrooms last night.
on hardcore drugs.
It could also be the best episode I ever do, so I might have to only write episodes on mushrooms.
I couldn't even tell you were on mushrooms last night.
I tell you what, man, driving him home, I completely forgot. I completely forgot.
I handle it well.
His amount of mushrooms that he took is also insane for how no idea that he was on them.
Yeah.
I
The only
figured he
thing
would have been like touching my car and like, playing with lights and stuff because that's what I would do.
The only thing I noticed about you really was that you were more generous with your laughter than you are sober.
I don't care for that.
Yeah, God, the compassion drug you took. Hate
Made me
that part.
feel, yeah. No, thank you.
Because there was a part during Oppenheimer where we were like crying laughing. And I don't usually see you laugh that hard.
It's the Remy Malek part.
Yeah.
That's the Remy Malek part.
Yeah. I don't think you need drugs to laugh hard at that.
I'll laugh at that sober.
Yeah.
But apparently I wrote an episode about Hannibal.
Nice. I love that guy.
Yeah.
So you wrote an episode about who you wish you were. So you just essentially were you just like on hallucinogenic drugs and you wanted to like do so much research on him that maybe you kind of warped into him?
He definitely spoke to him through the time.
Yeah, like
sphere.
slid across time through a wormhole.
Yes. I became Hannibal Barca.
Well, you have to become a Hannibal to then interact with the past Hannibal.
Well, I mean, you're already like Hannibal Barca in some ways. You both have a sports gambling problem.
Well, he quit, and I'm about to as well.
I've heard that now.
He's made a good point.
I've heard it. I've heard it a few times.
I had a last hurrah with the British Open, so it didn't go well.
I mean, but college football's only a couple months
I
away.
don't need this. There's no reason. It's pointless.
It's going to be the biggest temptation if you quit this week and then you go a month, essentially, just a month. And
I just want to see if I can do it.
I hope you do.
I might have a problem.
I want to see if I can do it with sports gambling is like,
That's
like saying, I want to see if I can stop doing cocaine.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Like, you know what, man? I really want to just see if I can go a month without just banging filthy whores every night. Just paying $20, going downtown,
Going to Perkins.
into an alley behind a fucking Wawa and just banging the dirtiest whore.
If only.
You think I could do it?
If only there was a Wawa here.
Right.
I don't care about the whores. I wish there was a Wawa here. But no, we're talking about Hannibal Barca. You familiar with this guy? You hear about this guy? You know about this guy?
Spark a flock of flame, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Hannibal was born in 247 BC. This might be the oldest episode I do to date.
I know. Now, if I were you, I would be like, well, you getting on my shit, man. I'm ancient history. Because you bitch at me every time I do anything near China.
You come at China. You come at me.
Deanna's just locked down China, apparently.
China, North Korea.
And Rob is locked down, I guess, anything before 1 AD. So that's most of
before most 1500 AD is
not false. So that's most of time.
Right.
That's the large majority of time is that.
So he's born in 247 BC in Carthage, which is now Tunisia, as the Punic War was coming to an end, the First Punic War, which was 264 to 241 BC. I'll tell you this, the BC going backwards just kind of messes with me.
Right.
Like, I understand.
The higher number is earlier.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
They didn't count that way, though. Like, to them, it wasn't that.
They weren't calling it BC because they didn't know what C was.
Yeah, they're like, man, 240 years until this Jesus guy gets here.
That'd be amazing if that's
somebody
how it
calls their shot.
Yeah.
I think the Messiah comes in like 250 years. Let's start calling it that.
Yeah.
He was the son of General Hannibal Barca, who waged a guerrilla campaign in Sicily and conducted successful raids against the Italian coast before ultimately the Carthaginians were defeated in the war. Bit of a power struggle ensues with some internal rebellions, and ultimately Hamilcar took power after squashing those revolts.
It was a very destabilizing situation for the Carthaginians. They were, it was almost like they were equal, if not actually. I mean, they were kind of the Romans were kind of the underdog in the First Punic War. Romans basically didn't have a navy. And yeah, the Carthaginians were definitely...
This was before the Roman Republic was like that guy.
Yeah, this was... So think of the Roman Republic in this era as like pre-Civil War United States.
Totally. It's a great comparison. I think Carthage is kind of their barometer.
I think there's a lot of similarities to the Punic Wars and maybe like the Mexican War. What the U.S. had. The U.S. was a dog in that, too.
Totally.
I like your Civil War comparison because I like to compare Hannibal to Robert E. Lee.
The most famous general who never won anything?
Yeah.
All right.
Spoiler.
Just your Mount Rushmore of generals who lost their only war.
Like the MVPs of the guys that lost in the finals.
It's like Lee, Rommel, Hannibal.
Jerry West.
Yeah. Kyle Trask. He's up there.
Nobody's putting Kyle Trask there.
I am.
For what? He wasn't even playing for anything.
Yeah, you guys lost to like Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl or some shit.
He was so good
because he sat out.
He's so good.
So ultimately, Hamilcar took power after squashing those revolts and forging kind of a new empire in the Iberian Peninsula, which is now modern Spain.
See.
Nothing is known about Hannibal's mother other than she was most likely a foreigner, as the folks in Carthage routinely, especially the nobles, routinely married and fucked around with women of all their cultures.
Yeah, I mean, Carthage was like a huge trading empire. It started out as a Phoenician colony. And the Phoenicians were like dope sailors. So essentially people, there's like not conspiracy theories, but like, Graham Hancock, what if someone got to America before?
Yeah.
And people think the Phoenicians are a good candidate to have sailed to the New World in ancient times in terms of just sailing prowess. Probably not, but if there was someone who could do it, it was the Phoenicians. And so they had just like they were a multicultural trading empire, more economically powerful than I think militarily powerful, but
their entire culture was a pretty big smorgasbord too. Their architecture and stuff is really wild, actually, if you go back and if you can find any, because Rome did a pretty good job of making sure you couldn't.
Yeah.
But from description, it was very all over the place.
The Phoenicians are sweet, man. By the way, if that sounds familiar, to say hooked on phonics.
Yeah.
It's because they invented the alphabet.
That's right.
Phonics. You do hooked on phonics?
Phonics monkey?
Yeah.
There it is. That's our one.
No, I didn't do hooked on phonics. I was a trailer kid, Rob. That's why it's so hard for me to read.
I know. That's why I asked if you did hooked on phonics.
Mm-mm. They separated me from my classmates and...
shamed you into reading better. Didn't work.
Well, clearly.
You didn't pray hard enough.
It was in my Catholic school, yes.
Yeah. That's what they did with me. I was bad at reading in first grade too, and I just prayed. Closed my eyes.
Prayed the dumb away.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that.
And just said rosaries until one day.
Jews are just smart, so we didn't have problems. Yeah. No problems. No special trailer.
He had two brothers that he knew of, Hasdrubal and Mago, both of whom served as Hannibal's lieutenants in the Second Punic War.
No, I believe it's Magoo.
It's
Magoo.
Yeah, Mr. Magoo.
It's Magoo. Yes, that's the. A lot of people don't know this. That's an ancient, powerful name that has been bastardized by Hollywood.
I don't know if it was bastardized. If anything, it was elevated.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Magoo didn't ever take an L. Everything around him did.
It always worked.
No, it
out.
always came up Magoo.
Always comes up Magoo.
Hamilcar famously declared that his sons were a brood of lying cubs raised for Rome's destruction.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Oh, my sons fuck so hard, dude. They're so fucking tough.
Oh, he makes fun of that now. Give him like 6 years when that first one starts playing sports.
Oh, kill me.
Yeah.
He's gonna like, God, what could fucking crushed at soccer?
I actually think you should make your son do what his dad did here.
What?
From the jump, he taught his sons to hate the Romans with every fiber of their being. At 9, Hannibal's pops made him dip his hand in blood and held it over a roasting fire to swear an oath to never be a friend of Rome and one day get revenge and take down the enemy that defeated his people.
So you have to do this with Kansans.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'll just do it with the city of Rome.
Oh, actually, yeah. You know, you got to find some Roman blood.
Right. Why not? Oh, well,
Yeah.
the Pope lives there. I can't do that. We'll
No, it's
figure
not
it out.
Rome. It's the Vatican City.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
different.
true.
It's its own thing.
I want him to my Rory will restore the Papal States to their former power.
If there was ever a kid to do it, I guess it's Rory Fox.
as long as he dresses like a Swiss guard.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you got to give him a little Swiss Guard outfit.
Let me Google to see if you can just buy a toddler Swiss Guard outfit.
Insane costume, but if that's his Halloween
If
costume.
there's ever a religion to do it, it's the Catholic Church.
Yeah. You know, there's at least one in one Spirit Halloween somewhere. Is there a Sancti Halloween?
A what?
A Sancti Halloween?
Oh man, I'm definitely finding children's Swiss Guard. Oh man, I think I found toddler Swiss Guard.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Swiss Scouts.
Somebody's just like psychotic Etsy store.
It's like, here's a little German trench coat.
Hamilcar died in 229 BC, drowning in battle, and was succeeded by his son-in-law, Hasdrubal, also named Hasdrubal, who made the young Hannibal an officer in the army. Hannibal could withstand extreme physical hardships and was moderate in his consumption of food and drink. The harsh reality was he spent almost the entirety of his life at war or in exile.
Yeah, that happens when you're at war a lot.
And when your dad makes you swear a blood oath to fucking hate.
I've never heard of a blood oath either, where you dip your hand in blood and then boil it off.
That's pretty sick.
I've never heard of a blood oath with someone else's blood.
Yeah, whose blood?
It was the Romans. Roman blood.
Was it just some Roman prisoner, some poor bastard like merchant who was
Hey, Jeff.
Just a messenger.
I'm bringing a wheat to your port? And they're like, hold on. I'm pretty drunk, and I think my 8-year-old needs to,
Swear fealty
have his
against
little,
you.
have his
Yeah.
little anti-Roman bar mitzvah.
Hannibal adapted accordingly to this war-obsessed culture, as Carthage had a habit of crucifying defeated generals. So it was like, hey, you can win, or we'll kill you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that might be effective.
It's
Is it lose a battle or lose the war? Which one is it?
if it's lose a battle, they're fucked on replacement
fucked
rate
immediately, yeah.
I don't think it could possibly be battle.
Well, his dad was a general in the First Punic War.
Yeah.
Wasn't losing much. He was actually winning his battles, but as a whole, his team lost.
Okay.
So he wasn't crucified.
Right. It's like the
maybe it's just
offense.
battle.
The offense is putting up points, but the defense just can't get a stop type of situation.
I think so.
Not the offensive coordinator's fault. It's funny that they're a war obsessed culture because their units suck in Rome Total War. Suck.
Even with the elephants.
Yeah, it's just their infantry's terrible. It's just not a good kit. Not a good toolkit.
Fair.
Perhaps the people that made that game were pro-Roman.
Probably it is Rome Total War.
Yeah. Can't make
maybe
it.
biased.
Maybe
Yeah.
biased.
You ever think about that?
You know that?
He was notorious for his savage behavior and fearless nature. Stories of Hannibal walking through trenches filled with blood and declaring, "What a beautiful sight," are numerous.
What?
Classic.
Who filled the trenches with blood?
He
Was
did.
it soldier blood?
It was soldier blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who dug the trench?
Soldier blood, tell him.
Well, it was fighting trenches, then you spill the blood in them.
I don't think there's a lot of trench warfare in 240 or whatever.
It was probably like a mild mess on a sidewalk.
He's just like, This is basically, he's like, I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah, it's that.
Fucking turd. By the way, did you guys hear about the, I think like the fact that Alexander and Troy both bombed essentially killed it was like in development forever, but the Vin Diesel Hannibal movie.
There was going to be a Vin Diesel Hannibal movie, and we were robbed of that.
Is Hannibal. Yeah, we were robbed of that. Because those two...
I thought it happened.
No.
Damn it.
Those two in Kingdom of Heaven didn't do very well, even though Kingdom of Heaven's a dope movie. And, so that they kind of scrapped that.
Who would you cast for Hannibal now?
I mean, they would probably throw The Rock in there.
No, he's too old. Look, my answer to any question like that is Timothy Chalamet.
That makes sense. Right.
Timothy Chalamet plays all the parts because he looks like a Roman noble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not putting on muscle.
Doesn't need to.
Okay.
Shave his head.
He inspired breathtaking loyalty and extraordinary obedience among his troops, which included his people as well as mercenaries recruited from throughout the ancient Mediterranean. Sources recount how he slept on a military cloak, eating the food of the common soldier and sharing their hardships. As a tactician, he's regarded as a genius of the first rank. Military leaders to this day study Hannibal's victories at the battles of Trebia, Trasimene, and Cannae.
See, Cannae's is like big one. That's the one.
His
where
Opus Dei.
Yeah, where he just absolutely obliterated the Roman army. Didn't matter. The Romans were just like, all right, well, let's get another 50,000 men.
Usually works.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's fine.
Oh, want to throw bodies at it?
Yeah, it's like the Germans just like obliterating the Soviets in World War II. They're like, all right, well, get another 500,000 up here. Let's go.
In 221 BC, his brother-in-law was assassinated, and the army chose the 26-year-old Hannibal to command Carthage's empire in Spain. A pivotal point in Hannibal's development came in 219 BC when he led an attack on Saguntum, an independent city in the middle of eastern Spanish coast.
I forget how to say that city. It's in Rome Total War. I've conquered it many times.
I feel like, being an independent city-state is probably not a good move.
It's not long. It's not
time of empires.
Yeah, it's not sustainable long term.
No. It's like someone's going to come in and just take it.
Saguntum?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Saguntum?
Saguntum. That's actually it, I think.
Okay.
That sounds right.
I'm just saying different ways.
This broke the treaty of the First Punic War, as this city was allied with Rome, and they saw Hannibal's attack as an act of war. He besieged Saguntum for 8 months before the city fell.
Damn, 8 months is a long siege.
Yeah, but I mean, he just didn't want to attack.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I get not
He's
attacking.
just chilling.
Yeah, a siege. It's better if you're the one sieging.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it's still long. Like, you got to wait it out.
Yeah.
But you have supply lines, at least, I guess. It's long for the city. That's a long time to just hold out.
I think that's probably why they were an independent city-state, because nobody wanted to fucking do it for 8 months.
Yeah.
The Romans delivered an ultimatum to Hannibal. Either he surrender his forces to them or there would be war. Hannibal refused to yield, and the Romans carried out their threat. This saw the outbreak of the Second Punic War. Leaving his brother, also named Hasdrubal, to protect Carthage's interests in Spain and North Africa.
I'm going to stop you real quick.
Yeah.
You know when people bitch about Game of Thrones and all the names sounding the same?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how history was.
Yeah.
They didn't have like a bunch of names.
Everyone was fucking George Foreman.
Yeah. It was like everyone in France was named Louis or Philip. Almost everyone. Like,
yeah, the kings, they really do cut like, there really are like 3 different king names in French history. It's not a lot.
yeah, no, it's absurd. So anytime someone's like, oh, hey, like, why is everyone named Tyrion or Mirian? It's
Right.
like, that's literally how they did names back
I
then.
feel like they complain about the, what's Khaleesi's family, the Targaryens.
Oh, the Targaryens. Yeah.
Especially in the new show.
Yeah. But that's what they did. They just, it's
Another fucking Tommen.
like they would fuck their relatives Why is it surprising that they would keep the same names? They're keeping their genitals in the family. Why would they change names?
Yeah.
Hannibal
continuity.
assembled a massive army with 90,000 infantry, 12,000 cavalry, and nearly 40 elephants. The march that followed, which covered some 1,000 miles through the Pyrenees, across the Rhone River and snow-capped Alps.
So he went over 2 major mountain ranges. The Pyrenees are what's between France and Spain.
And a river.
Yeah. Did he stick to the coast? Did he just stick to the Côte d'Azur?
The Alps were the
south
problem.
of France?
The Alps were the problem.
Right. Well, right. Elephants, not great.
Mm-hmm.
Typically not rolling around in southern Europe.
The passes he used were narrow and awkward, presenting considerable dangers to Hannibal's men and their elephants. The weather was often against them, with frequent blizzards as well as sudden landslides.
Why'd he go in winter?
Who knows?
Maybe just camp for
Yeah.
the winter on the beach?
No, I can tell you why they just didn't camp. Once you get the elephants out, you got to feed the elephants. You can't wait around with the elephants.
You can go loot the landscape. I mean, so at this point, Rome was not, I don't know what the Roman Empire or what Roman Republic land was at that point, but
Also, the Alps are always going to be snow-capped.
I don't know anything snow-capped, but if they're getting hit with blizzards.
Wait,
and
they went
shit-
west to east
They're going
with elephants?
Yeah.
Spain to,
How do you get the elephants there?
or like Tunisia. Too.
Up through Africa.
Oh, okay.
Africa across
they sailed them.
Gibraltar and
They-
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they took them bottom up, then
Yeah.
left to right. Okay.
Because Carthage already controls part of Spain.
Okay. I was just curious because, like, I guess, yeah, elephants are Africa. I always consider, like, elephants, though, too, and, like,
Well, he got his elephants from India and Africa.
yeah, well, I was, like, wondering how the Indian elephants got there.
Oh, just trade, I assume.
Yeah. That makes sense.
On top of this, the tribes who inhabited the mountain passes were generally hostile and sometimes launched attacks on Hannibal's men.
Probably because they rolled a bunch of elephants through town.
Demons.
Yeah.
Actually, just demons.
Fucking demon tanks.
You've never seen anything like that. Like, think about, we talk about this all the time with the stupid, which I forget which museum it is in New York. Maybe just be the Natural History Museum, where they have all those stupid stuffed animals.
Oh, yeah.
Like, literally. And it's like, but that used to be incredible to people
Right.
because that's all they could see. And that was like 100 years ago,
Right.
120 years ago.
So now imagine a living one thousands of years ago.
Right. 2,000 plus years ago.
Yeah. It's,
You don't even know that animal exists.
yeah.
Right? Like, you don't even understand what you're looking like. Imagine
The biggest animal you're probably dealing with in the Alps is like some sort of cat.
or goat, maybe.
Yeah. Like a ram.
Imagine we just walk outside, go into our cars, and there's some sort of like octopus with feet, just like just walking by.
It's like, it's over, dude.
That's what those people were seeing.
It's essentially a dragon. Like,
Yeah.
actually, but no, it's even less conceivable than that. Like, octopus with feet is a great example. Like, it's just like, what? What?
fuck?
What is that?
Kill it.
There is no God.
There's
This has shattered my universe. I mean, a lot of people, when they saw the elephants, did kill themselves.
it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. It's insane.
It's so funny that you just like, that's all it takes is context. Like, so at some point in history, someone just saw an elephant and was like, nope.
Don't care. This is beyond my comprehension. I don't want to find out anything more.
Fucking God.
The world is filled with horrors unimaginable to me. So,
But again, right now, if like if a Chinese army showed up and they were riding octopuses with feet, I might just be like, I gotta go.
yeah, no, I'm going to get beaked to death by that thing.
With his forces depleted by the harsh Alpine crossing, Hannibal met the powerful army of the Roman general Publius Cornelius
Scipio.
Scipio
Just call him Scipio.
on the plains west of the Ticino River. Hannibal's cavalry still prevailed, and Scipio was seriously wounded in the battle. He was rescued by his son.
Also Scipio?
I believe so.
Probably.
Yeah.
Late in 218 BC, they again defeated the Romans on the left bank of Trebia, a victory that earned Hannibal the support of allies, including the Gauls and Ligurians.
And the Gauls are just the French, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like the,
It's like the ethnicity of that part of France.
yeah, they're just like the gross barbarian French.
yeah.
By the spring of 217 BC, he had advanced to the Arno River, where despite a victory at Lake Trasimene, he declined to lead his exhausted forces against Rome itself. So he's picking off battles kind of outside of Rome, but he never actually attacks Rome because they put all their money and resources into protecting Rome.
Makes sense.
Defense. Yeah.
And also, like, this is not, you're thinking like gladiator. You guys are thinking of like gladiator Rome, probably. Like, that's not what this is. Gladiator, or even Rome from the show we watch, Rome. That's 200 years after this, and Gladiator's 350 years after this.
Rome doesn't start becoming Rome until after this war.
Yes, this is again. I think the Punic Wars are basically the Mexican War for the United States. It's like, this is the war that puts them on the superpower path, or the wars.
Is this when I'm gonna mess up my timeline here, but like Caesar crossing the Rubicon, is that post this war?
Yes,
that's
by a couple hundred years.
Yeah, it's closer to 0, right?
But it's like 150 years.
Yeah,
so
it's closer to
Rubicon.
AD.
I think is like 40 or 50 BC, something like that.
Okay, yeah, my timeline's really bad on that, but no, I mean it's the thing before the thing. Then the Second Punic War. Yeah,
January 10th, 49 BC.
Okay,
Caesar
crosses Rubicon.
Yeah. The die is cast. Yes.
In the summer of 216 BC, 16 Roman legions, close to 80,000 soldiers, an army said to be twice the size of Hannibal's, confronted his men near the town of, like you said earlier, what's his?
Cannae. Yeah.
His most famous battle.
This was his just like masterpiece. I mean, just, you can just say what happens. He just fucks them up.
While the Roman general Varro massed his infantry in the center with the cavalry on each wing, a classic military formation, Hannibal maintained a relatively weak center, but strong infantry and cavalry forces on the flanks. When the Romans advanced, his men were able to hold their center and win the struggle at the sides, enveloping the enemy and cutting off the possibility of retreat by sending a cavalry charge across the rear.
Yeah. Completely encircled the Romans.
Yeah. So was this in a narrow pass or like an open field?
I believe it was open field for that much maneuvering and that.
Yeah. Well, if you want to cut backward, I guess you have to be in an open
pretty
space.
sure it was relatively.
So this is Battle of the Bastards.
I guess.
I mean,
but also the trailer for Napoleon as well.
Yeah. So Napoleon kind of does a similar thing. Not really similar to Austerlitz, but he definitely Austerlitz is his masterpiece, and it involves him kind of deking out the Austrians and Russians, but in a not quite the same way. But yeah. And he fucks them up. But Hannibal fucks the Romans up even worse here.
The Roman defeat at Cannae stunned much of southern Italy, and many of Rome's allies and colonies defected to Hannibal's side.
I mean, they lost the whole army was like wiped out. Like he killed like, how big was the army? He said 80,000?
80,000.
I mean, he killed almost all of them.
Yeah. Damn. He's outmatched that much.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, the thing is though, like with these battles, any battle like this, it really does, the numbers don't, I mean, the numbers matter, but like once something breaks in the line, the numbers don't matter anymore.
Yeah, because
because then it's like you're totally vulnerable and everybody's panicking, and a lot of the Roman soldiers died like basically trampling each other,
just trying to move.
Yeah,
yikes.
Yeah, it was a fucking nightmare.
Under the leadership of Scipio's son-in-law, also named Scipio.
They get 9 months to name these fucking kids.
I know,
and they just keep popping out
Scipio
Scipios
from the start.
Yeah,
it's Scipio from day one.
Yeah,
look, I named my kid Robert Edward Fox IV.
That's true. It's like, man, there's a lot of Giuseppes around here. A lot of Scipios.
And fellow general Quintus Fabius Maximus. The Romans soon rallied. In southern Italy, Fabius used cautious tactics to gradually push back against Hannibal's forces.
This is called the Fabian strategy.
And had regained a considerable amount of ground by 209 BC.
Which is immortalized in the 30 Rock episode, the Fabian strategy. It's essentially keep withdrawing until you find ground that you want to fight on, and then engage the enemy.
What was the context of the 30 Rock episode, though?
Jack kept essentially delaying making a decision with his then wife.
Oh, yes,
so that she would make a mistake.
Right.
Yeah.
So he could have,
the wall
upper hand
he wanted or something like that, the paint color he wanted, yeah.
And they started to strategize to go against Hannibal's forces that weren't led by Hannibal.
Right.
Good.
Pick off the others. Keep him busy and pick off the other armies.
Yeah, slowly, meticulously.
Let him
whittle
chase
it.
you and then pick off everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah. So Roman forces defeated an army of reinforcements led by Hannibal's brother, who had crossed the Alps in an attempt to come to Hannibal's aid. Meanwhile, the younger Scipio drew on Rome's seemingly inexcusable supply of manpower to launch.
Inexhaustible.
Yeah.
No, it was inexcusable. It's inexcusable how many men they have.
Too many goddamn men, Rome.
Yeah, too many dudes here, guy.
I wrote this when I was high. So
Yeah.
On mushrooms,
honestly,
by the way.
so
You
far,
didn't
so-
catch this already.
So far, so good.
I'm impressed, yeah.
Mine would be like, I would go on the biggest tangent on one thing, and that would be an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to try mushrooms now, by the way. That's like, there's no drugs I really want to do anymore. I don't even do well on weed, to be honest. But like, I kind of want to try some shrooms. Just
It's
a micro.
good.
I want to do like just a micro dose.
don't eat just, 4 to 9 pieces of
Don't do that.
chocolate.
Don't do that.
I did 10.
Yeah, don't do that.
4 to 9. I don't mind.
What a range.
You don't want to microdose. You want to get
like-
you want to get like a full mushroom experience. So like
No, I want to start with the micro. I just really want the energy sounds.
It's like
nice.
1 to 7 shots of Everclear.
it is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but everything's kind of elevated. So when we were at the bar last night, I could hear everyone's conversations.
I wasn't keying into any of the fact that you did mushrooms. You're like, yeah, I can hear everyone's individual conversations. Like, I certainly cannot, but it's just loud. Dan's on fucking like bionic man shit.
I know.
because he
I
ate
was
a bunch
telling
of
you, I
mushrooms.
felt like a phone operator in the 20s. All right, I'll hold, please.
You're
I
connecting.
I kept forgetting you were high, to be honest.
Yeah, no, because you weren't being weird.
Yeah.
I'm usually not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Meanwhile, the younger Scipio drew on Rome seemingly an inexhaustible supply of manpower to launch an attack on New Carthage.
I don't know where they got these people from, to be quite honest.
Where'd all these dudes come from?
Rome wasn't that big. I mean, it was a formidable power like it was. They weren't nothing, but like I said, they were dogs. Even though they won the first, well, maybe they weren't dogs after the first because they won the first one, but like quickly live betting went, they were dogs in the live bet pretty quick. You know what I mean?
Dan, did you just Google where all the dudes come from in Rome?
Apparently Rome.
Well, Rome.
I mean, it's a big city.
Yeah.
It's a big city. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like, 1 million people yet, like it was at its height, but
There was the baby boom after the first Punic War.
yeah, everyone was real excited.
Yeah.
The following year, Hannibal met Scipio's forces on the battlefield near Zama,
In Africa.
some 120 kilometers from Carthage. The Roman cavalry won an early victory, and because standard Roman tactics for limiting the effectiveness of the war elephants were successful, which was playing trumpets to frighten the elephants into running into their own lines.
Yeah. So here's the thing about animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, you can scare them. You can scare them a little.
Yeah.
Whether it's lighting a pig on fire and sending it at them,
Yep.
or,
I wonder who was the first one to play a trumpet and be like, oh, it works.
dude, what a heat check that was. Like, yo,
Check it out.
drummer boy, bugle man,
You
bugler.
thought I was useless?
Yeah.
I wonder if there was ever just like a Mardi Gras in New Orleans where they had a fucking elephant in the parade, and then some blues guy puts a bucket down on the corner, takes the trumpet out.
Louis
of his
Armstrong
case.
just comes out.
and all of a sudden it's like, he just was like, like blows it real quick, and someone's like,
Yeah, Rob.
no, and he's just like, and then cut to
Yeah, it was the Mardi Gras massacre of 1929.
Yeah. Everyone knows that one.
that was the real Black Tuesday.
I guess it's because a trumpet sounds like an elephant in distress more than more or less.
Does it? Yeah.
Like that kind of shit. So think about if there's an instrument, someone came out and played it. It was just human screams.
It's just like, like someone puts it to their lips and all of a sudden you're like, run! Oh my God!
Yeah. That's what the aliens are going to come down with. Here, let's play a tune for you. Just,
Yeah, they just put like a flute in their asshole or whatever, like a hole on the backside.
just sounds like the pits of hell.
Yeah.
It would scare me.
The Romans.
And you know what? That would be the U.S. Army's mistake for riding me into battle.
Yeah. Don't ride me in there, man.
What would be America's elephant?
Wild boar. Giant boars. Gators.
Gators, maybe.
Oh, riding in on a gator?
That's Florida. The Florida cavalry's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's our Navy,
They're
though.
gator back.
Yeah.
it's like the 69th Florida Cavalry Regiment
Yeah.
is riding gators. I think overall,
Maybe like a grizzly?
yeah, grizzly.
Grizzly
good.
bear, gators. Yeah, the gators would have to have a salt life sticker on them, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, that would be the unit's nickname, the Salt Life Brigade.
Salt life brigade.
Yeah.
So, with the help of northern African allies, the Romans enveloped and smothered Hannibal and his men, killing some 20,000 soldiers at a loss of only 1,500 of their own.
I'm telling you what happened. Basically, what happens is they push up against each other until one side breaks, and then the side that breaks, that's most of the casualties happen after the break.
I would imagine so.
Like it's
freaking out.
Yeah, it's essentially like I'm trying to think of a good.
Just getting trampled
throw a
by
pick
your
six?
own elephant.
Yeah.
You throw a pick six, something changes the mo.
Yep.
And
It's not like you're going to take your elephant down.
no,
It's charging you, but it's like, oh man, we still need it.
that's my boy. It's like, well, we got to blow up this tank now. I guess it's our tank. You know, you don't want to do that. That's a resource.
Yeah. Someone just blows a trump at your tank, starts freaking out,
Whoa!
shooting your own men and shit.
I knew we shouldn't give this tank AI. These AI tanks are afraid of jazz.
God damn it!
In honor of this great victory, Scipio was given the name Africanus.
This is Scipio Africanus.
Okay.
That's how it's. Yeah.
Why are you surprised?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Oh no,
He
man!
was on mushrooms, dude.
He's not now.
You don't know that?
Yeah. Shut up. Get out of here, dork. Any words?
Fucking nerd.
Who's Africanus?
Oh, I know how to pronounce words correctly.
So
Congratulations.
Scipio
Fucking
Africanus?
That's all I got, really.
Yeah.
Love like the. I mean,
And all the other contextual historical knowledge, but yeah,
just
other
let me
than
be
those things,
I mean, really, like,
Nothing.
if we're really like being serious, I'm like the man with one eye in the land of the blind here. Like, I'm not.
oh, now we're blind people.
I'm sorry. I would think Hannibal would like me better than you. You want to bench off right now? Let's have a bench off.
the fact that you butcher Roman names would probably.
He'd be like, I like this one.
Yeah.
He murders their names like I murder them.
Yeah, he respects them not at all.
Ha! Yes.
Or he pronounces their names horribly. The disrespect pleases me.
These are a mouthful, okay?
Scipio Africanus.
All right, but like back to back, some of these words are.
I know. Sorry, look, my Patreon
tough.
episode this week is on.
That's why
the Imperial Japanese.
Oh,
I'm
we're
put
gonna hold
myself-
you
Don't
to
go
it.
past like 1850. All right,
Yeah, the names are just too weird.
don't fuck with it.
He's in the gym. He needs to be in the Jimmy and Joe times. Mike Malloy's.
Yes. In the peace agreement that ended the Second Punic War, Carthage was allowed to keep only its territory in North Africa, but lost its overseas empire permanently. It was also forced to surrender its fleet and pay.
Oh, you choking on your big words over there, dork?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I hope you fucking die.
Scipio Africanus. Yeah. Okay.
Real quick, we do have some sponsors, so let's get to that. First up, we've got Liquid Death. You can find Liquid Death's healthy beverages on Amazon or at a retailer near you. And Softcore History listeners will get 20% off their first Liquid Death apparel purchase. They've got dope shit. I'm wearing it right now. So is Daniel. There's a hat on the set. They actually have
a lot of good stuff.
They have really cool merch. Anyway, if you can get 20% off your first apparel purchase at liquiddeath.com/softcore. Exclusions may apply, but that is liquiddeath.com/softcore. And listen, as far as the drink goes, that's what we're mostly advertising here. Go get that anywhere. It's at gas stations. You can buy it in bulk on Amazon or whatever. It is my favorite sparkling water. I'm currently having their, severed lime with a little tequila in it while we do this show. It's my favorite way to make a ranch water. Fun story about Liquid Death, though. Saved my baby's life.
What?
So you know there was a boil notice?
Yeah.
Come downstairs the other morning, have to make a bottle for my baby. Realized I don't have any boiled water. I was like, fuck. Baby's hungry. Not going to get to eat for like 45 minutes as I try to boil water. When I realized Liquid Death had sent the show a whole bunch of Liquid Death. And I didn't share it with any of you. And I won't. It was in my home. Took the flat water. Boom. Gave it to my baby. Put it in the bottle. Mixed it with the formula. Delicious. He loved it. You mad at me?
A little bit. You're prioritizing your children over your co-host?
Yes, my child deserves the Liquid Death first.
kind of fucked up.
Well, it is what it is. Also, Liquid Death has this awesome new. They have like a tea now, like iced tea. They do their oh man, what's it called? It's a play on Arnold Palmer, but it is so good. It's got a little bit of caffeine in it, some B vitamins. It is absolutely delicious. Check that out as well. I cannot recommend Liquid Death enough. They are my favorite drink in the world. Obviously, the name stands out, but if you can't find them in the store, in the gas station or whatever, just go to the water section. Look for what looks like either an energy drink or malt liquor can.
Yeah, you'll know it's water, though, when you drink it because it won't taste terrible. It'll actually taste good.
Yes, exactly. And I love that they're in a can, by the way. They have huge, tall boys. I think that sparkling water is best out of a can, personally. But that is just me. Liquid Death is amazing. And by the way, they donate a portion of their profits to help kill plastic pollution. They don't do plastic bottles. And their iced tea is dope. I highly recommend getting it. Their Arnold Palmer flavor. I feel it's Armless Palmer, I think is what it is. They always do just some gnarly shit. But yeah, it's awesome. Liquid Death is dope. Cannot recommend enough. It saved my baby's life, for God's sakes. liquiddeath.com/softcore for 20% off your Liquid Death apparel purchase. Otherwise, just go to the store, grab a Liquid Death, and then scream at a stranger that Softcore History told you to buy it.
It was also forced to surrender its fleet and pay a large amount of silver and had to agree to never again rearm or declare war without permission from Rome. Hannibal, who escaped with his life from the crushing defeat at Zama and still harbored a desire to defeat Rome, retained his military title despite accusations that he had botched conduct of war.
I mean, he lost.
It seems like that's
lost a very winnable fight. It makes sense to me that he didn't go after Rome right away. But like, okay, yeah, you guys are exhausted. You know, they just marched across half of France and over the Alps and
couple battles.
And then you won a couple battles. Okay, fine. You know, regroup a little bit. But at some point, again, like it does get dumb that he chases Fabian instead of just goes after Rome and makes Fabian fight him.
He played not to lose, and he didn't play to win.
Too conservative.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is like, or even just chasing, I don't know, glory. Like you want to keep winning battles because that's kind of the same argument that was going on around the Battle of Gettysburg, right? It was the second invasion of the North. And they kept like, you know, Longstreet didn't want to fight at Gettysburg. He was like, we didn't choose this ground. We came here accidentally. Let's make a tactical withdrawal, move towards Washington and make them fight us on ground that we want to fight on, right? Because we get to choose because they're going to have to hit us if we get up between them and Washington.
Yeah.
That Hannibal could have done that too. He had total control of the peninsula. He could have gone after Rome.
Do you think it's a fear of failure?
No, it seems more like to me that he was chasing blood.
So just like kind of he wanted to just run up the score before he drove it home. And
he was Kyle Shanahaning, right?
Yeah.
He's up 28-3 and he's still fucking passing the ball.
Yeah,
Took a sack.
Yeah. Can't do it.
Can't do it. Hannibal, unsurprisingly, had a violent temper. There's an antidote from the aftermath of his defeat in the Second Punic War that suggests that age and experience did little to soften his irritability.
Well, look, when you're having the worst day of your and most other people's lives, you're going to get mad.
Yeah.
Sometimes age won't matter.
When an arrogant politician spoke against the peace treaty, an enraged Hannibal physically assaulted the speaker, dragging him from the podium.
Did you kill him?
Didn't say.
Didn't say? Okay.
Maybe beat his ass.
Yeah.
Hannibal later returned to the Senate and apologized for his conduct.
That guy didn't, though. That guy didn't.
The Carthaginian Senate, by the way, not the Roman Senate.
Sidon is unfamiliar with the customs of politics after a lifetime spent in military service.
It seems politics adjacent.
Yeah.
Like if you were that high ranking in the military, you might slightly understand how your country's
making decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe if you have a problem with somebody, you just kind of handle it outside.
That's also just a weird flex. Not a weird flex. It is a flex. It's like, oh, sorry, I've been busy doing all this dirty work. I didn't know I couldn't just do it in here too.
Right.
He was footballing when he shouldn't have footballed.
Yeah,
essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like if well, I guess he can't, but it's like if John Jones runs for president, right? Is he American, John Jones?
Yeah.
Okay. If John Jones runs for president and he's in the debate and he just gets mad and just chokeholds the other guy to sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Didn't know that was not.
Just like
that was not a.
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Well, of all the examples you could have went with, John Jones has done a lot of MMA outside of MMA. Mostly with his car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cocaine.
He's just in a debate one day. AOC or someone pisses him off, chokes her out.
It's going to be way worse optics.
Yeah.
It
doesn't matter who it is. Yeah. It's either he's running as an independent for sure.
Yeah.
He lives in New Mexico.
I would do that for an MMA fight. I would vote or contribute money, whatever the threshold is to get on the debate stage. If you're polling at a certain percent, I would get into whatever polling group I needed to get that psychopath on the debate stage.
That and like just all of the fighting analogies.
Yeah,
it's like we're gonna murder inflation. We're gonna fucking choke it. Like just you would get so many because every time a businessman is like on the stage of the debate, it's like I'm gonna run this country like a business,
right?
And it's like, oh, cool, fucking that's all you talk about.
Most pro fighters are pretty self-controlled. Like they know they can kill you.
That's true,
and so they don't do it.
Yeah, they're just like.
There's also that's just a weird thing in general too. The dudes that look for bigger dudes to fight, like what are you guys doing?
You just got a small wiener at that point.
Yeah, just what
I don't know.
Why are you trying to have a bad time?
There's just a hole in your body, in your soul, that you can't fill.
God, fucking fights, man. Like they were funny in college, but as soon as I started seeing them,
they were funny in college when it wasn't you.
Yeah, that's true.
They were funny in college because it was mostly unathletic white frat guys.
It was a kid in Sigma Chi and a kid in SAE, and they both had little 40-year-old dad bodies already. Yeah, and they were just kind of limply swinging fists at each other,
haymakers.
Or maybe somebody connects. Or,
yeah. But yeah, when it's like adults at a bar in a city, you're like,
oh my God, especially post 20.
Yeah, and especially Austin. Everyone here trains.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, why would you between the training and the guns? I don't know why you would start a fight with anyone.
Exactly. Like also, you take the wrong fall, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
So Hannibal enacted political and financial reforms to enable the payment of the war immediately imposed by Rome. However, those reforms were unpopular with members of the noble class in Carthage. So he fled to volunteered to exile himself.
Yeah, he was just like, fine, I'll fuck off.
Cool.
I don't care. Rome was like OP in the fucking Mediterranean. Again, this is literally like the Mexican-American War, like doubled their fucking value.
But if Mexico paid us a lot of money.
They did.
Well, they gave us taxes.
No, we made them pay us money too.
We got a lot.
A lot of money?
Yeah, I'll look it up. But yeah, we made them. We were like, we're taking your land and you're paying us money.
Yeah. I do like that. Pay up.
Oh no, actually, I think it's the opposite. I think we took their land and we're like, well, we'll reimburse them for it, but we gave them like a laughably small amount.
Yeah,
I mean, we took
land's worth shit.
We took like what at the time was probably worth billions of dollars and paid them like 30 million for it or something.
Yeah,
I'll look it
Just
up.
Pennies on the dollar.
Even pennies on the dollar would be a generous description.
During this time, he lived at the Seleucid court, where he acted as military advisor to Antiochus III.
Antiochus,
the
the Seleucid Empire. So that was one of the. And I know all of this from Rome Total War, by the way. But that was one of the fracture. That was one of the break off kingdoms after Alexander the Great died. The other, obviously, Ptolemaic Egypt was one. The Seleucid Empire. And then there's like two.
Well, he loses the Rome, and Hannibal flees again, making a stop at the kingdom of Armenia. Suspicious that they were prepared to surrender him to the Romans, Hannibal then fled to Crete.
We paid Mexico $15 million
for all of that land.
Yeah.
It's like stealing someone's like steak dinner from them and being like, here's a quarter.
Yeah.
Here's a quarter. Fuck you. Buy yourself something nice.
So he went back to Anatolia and sought refuge with Prusias of Bithynia.
Anatolia is Turkey.
So
he was in Turkey.
Who was engaged in warfare with Rome's ally of Pergamon. Hannibal went on to serve in this war, actually. This is kind of one of his notorious kind of tactics.
What?
in naval battles. He fills pots full of venomous snakes and launches them at boats.
Dope.
That's a good tactic.
He
likes
waited
animals.
too long to do this. He should have been doing that every battle all the time.
If I rolled up, I'm like, we're gonna smoke these guys, and then a clay pot full of snakes just hits the ground. I'm like, God damn it!
I know he wasted this on essentially a mercenary job.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, man, that's such a bummer. Like, imagine you're like a show, you have your own show, your own TV show, and it gets canceled after like one season or something like that. And then, but you're still employable and you go work at other shows as a staff writer or, just a lower level of writer than you were on your own show. And like, you come up with like the best joke ever. And it's for somebody else's fucking thing.
Or like our job.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Rob you threw out the best line you've ever had on Drinking Bros, be like, oh man, I kind of
gave that
to them, man.
Gave it to somebody else
as
as
a
gift. Yeah.
Also, just kudos to Hannibal. He's like, elephant's too big, snake's tiny.
Yeah.
We can fit a bunch of these guys.
Snakes and pots.
I mean, so the whole thing is though, like you gotta like on land, like you want to break the formation, right? So you can just route them. What's gonna break a formation better than a fucking big clay pot of venomous snakes exploding in the middle of it?
This is also naval battle.
I know.
So you're on a fucking boat and
you can't, there's
like,
nowhere to go.
Well, the elephants wouldn't work on boats. That's the whole reason he didn't use those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't launch an elephant at them.
Maybe.
If you had a good
I don't
enough
think he
trebuchet.
tried.
Yeah. You just, maybe you break it down for parts.
Anyway, I remember the reason I'm doing this episode is because I was looking at like, we saw Oppenheimer and I was trying to look at like ancient weapons that were like dope.
Yeah.
And I came across the pot of snakes.
Pot of snakes is rad as fuck.
It's very high up there for me.
Underutilized, I would say.
We should do it now.
Kinda.
Is it against the Geneva Convention?
I would imagine so.
I bet it's not. I bet it's kind of like a loophole.
Is the Geneva Convention like, if you didn't mention it, then it's okay?
Yeah, kind of.
Because if it's that, then yeah, I'm sure it's fine. They probably weren't writing in like, all right, let's go back through the annals of history and see the dumb shit everyone did.
We just start launching snakes at Putin.
Yeah.
There is a protection of animals during warfare.
Nah. Are snakes animals?
Yes.
I don't think so. I think they're the devil.
All of them?
Yeah.
They're collectively the devil?
Yeah, they're all the devil's fingers.
I don't fuck with snakes at all.
No.
At all.
Snakes are weird, man. They don't have legs and they move around like that. It's unnatural.
His fate ended in the court of Bithynia. Hannibal discovered that the castle where he was living was surrounded by Roman soldiers and he could not escape. So he took poison sometime between 190 and 182 BC. They don't really have an official date on it.
190 and what? 182?
Yeah, so there's like an
8-year gap? Jesus.
Because he dies out of his country.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone's just kind of like, yeah, at some point in this period, he stopped.
And again, most of the sources for this are Roman sources.
Yep.
Always the case.
Yeah. We know most of what we know about Carthage because of Rome.
Yeah.
And it's, again, an interesting thing. They wanted to eliminate Carthage from the map because it was their like crowning achievement. It's like, we've eviscerated our greatest enemy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that like moment they can never get back to after that, right? Like at least
they're always chasing that high.
Right. Like the things that like people in the Roman Senate would talk about is like, back when we won the Second Punic War, like it's our World War II.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it were back in those times, we'd be better off.
Yeah, we're not men today like we were during the Punic War.
Exactly. And that was the sentiment, right? But because of that, like it was this, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like they couldn't let the memory of Carthage die because they wouldn't have anything to talk about.
Right.
Either. So it's like, it was actually kind of weird. Like if it weren't for like Rome's hubris and like insisting on how great it was, we would know nothing about Carthage.
Yeah. I mean, and they really, it's crazy. Like that was the last real major power they kind of ever had to fuck with other than like the Persians. I think the Achaemenid Empire, is that what it was? I can't remember.
I mean,
they're the Persians, but
the Egyptians too, to a lesser degree.
The Egyptians were washed.
Yeah, I mean, they got fucked pretty hard. Like Egypt was trying to finesse a lot and they just blew it.
Yeah. I mean, Egypt was a paper tiger by that point.
Yeah, they had no shot.
And to keep in mind, like Egypt's heyday was 1,500 years before Rome showed up to take their land.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like, we're talking Ptolemaic Egypt, right? Like Yeah, like it, but also somewhat Mark Antony too was involved in that.
The Ptolemy family still ruled Egypt at that point when Caesar got there, because I mean that was
it wasn't
Cleopatra was, but they were still by the time I think when Caesar got there, Ptolemaic Egypt was like it
was on its way out,
client state of Rome.
It was definitely
a vassal.
It was a vassal for sure,
but eventually, at least maybe under Augustus or whatever, it just became their territory full on. Like it was like, this is part of Rome now.
Yeah, because they couldn't finesse like a deal with Caesar. Cleopatra couldn't.
The same way when Jesus was born, Judea was a vassal state, a client state of Rome. That's why King Herod was there.
Right.
But by the
by
the time Jesus was executed, I think it was just full on Roman territory. Or maybe that was by 70 when they destroyed the temple, 70 AD. Then it became they just became part of Rome full on.
Well, yeah, that's that Egypt becoming a full on territory is what pretty much rapidized the full decline of Egypt and why it wasn't like ever capable of getting back.
Yeah.
Because like they basically, it's like, oh, hey, Rome needs bread. Now we make bread.
You're a fucking bakery.
Yeah. Essentially that's what it became.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, oh, we get to prosper because we're like
all the money
doing business.
All the money was in the East.
Yeah.
Also, Rome had this high respect for Hannibal. He became such a figure of terror that whenever disaster threatened, Romans would claim Hannibal ad portus. Hannibal is at the gates, to emphasize the gravity of the emergency. The Romans even built statues of Hannibal in the streets of Rome to advertise their defeat of such a worthy adversary.
Exactly. That's just PR, dude. They have to keep that image alive.
Yet when I advocate for putting up statues of Hitler in the middle of every town square in America, I'm a psycho.
You monster. Yeah. No, he has to be like crying though, or like about to blow his head off. It's like we do like a full
gun to head, cyanide pill going in the mouth.
Yeah, like it's a diorama of a bunker, basically. With him just like going out in 3 different ways.
So that is the story of Hannibal Barca.
I believe that Romans also used him as a boogeyman for their kids.
Yeah.
Like they'd be like, ooh, Hannibal will get you if you don't eat your vegetables.
Was he the Attila the Hun before Attila the Hun?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like a fun question is like, who was Hitler before Hitler? I think it was Attila.
Hannibal, then Attila, then Genghis.
Yeah.
Then
Napoleon.
Yeah. The Turks.
The Turks just in general.
Yeah, any Turk.
Yeah, just any of them.
All Turks are Hitler. Yeah, and then Napoleon, and then Hitler.
And then Hitler, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys learn today?
I learned about snakes and pots.
I know, that's really the important thing. I learned that Hannibal, sometimes your best ideas come to you too late.
Yeah.
Think about it. You're on your deathbed and you like think of the best idea for a novel ever.
Yeah. That's probably going to happen to one of us. But yeah, that's like the tyrant.
It's about a boy wizard.
Shit.
But you have Alzheimer's, so you don't know.
Yeah. That's a good one, Grandpa. No, I think that's like the tyrant equivalent of like when you think of an argument you had with someone too late.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I should have said that.
Yeah.
Could have owned him. It's like the imaginary fight in the shower.
It's the jerk store.
Yeah.
From Seinfeld.
Who is today's Hitler?
Well, I think Hannibal was Hitler.
At the time.
Kind of.
From the perspective of Rome.
You said that already, but who in the story is Hitler?
Like, really? I don't know. His shitty dad?
Yeah. His dad's pretty Hitlery. It's like,
dad's
here,
a fucking
dip
lunatic.
dip your hand in blood. Boil it off.
It's like he's like a fucking failed athlete that's like trying to make his kid go pro. Like, he's like, my child will go pro.
Yeah.
I'm going to say anyone that played Rome Total War.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Anyone that could phonetically pronounce words.
Do you think there was anyone...
You think you're better than me?
At that. Certainly.
Do you think there was anyone like when they started marching the elephants was like, guys, we can still turn back. We don't have to do this.
I really feel bad for all of Hannibal's supply officers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, they say Amateurs study tactics, professionals study logistics. His logisticians, anyone that was involved with feeding the army and shit like that, those poor bastards.
Yeah. It's like, now we got to feed all these dudes and giant devil.
Yeah, honestly,
animals.
they were probably like quietly in their tent at night. They're like, another elephant fell off a cliff, and they're like, oh, thank God.
Fucking
Honestly,
yes.
I hate
We
to
have
say
more
it.
food now.
Yeah, I hate to say it. See, how far down can we get some meat?
Yeah, like I was about to say, yeah, if you did drop an elephant, that's a lot of meat. I wonder how elephant meat tastes. It's got to be gamey.
People eat elephant.
Really?
A lot of fat.
Dude, is it?
Hmm?
You can eat elephant for sure.
You might
don't-
get shot by people
I don't think I would
going
want.
after poachers, but
I don't think I would want to eat elephant if I had the opportunity.
Yeah, and that's why you are the way that you are.
There's a lot of things I would eat that are morally questionable. The bird, the whole bird,
With the
bunting, yes,
Yeah.
with the little napkin over your head. I would do it because
napkin of shame.
yes, because at a certain point, someone's making that bird either way. I'm
Yeah.
not going to go out and seek the elephant.
I think
you
the
know?
weirdest meat I've eaten is kangaroo.
Yeah, kangaroo's weird. I haven't had that, but I
How's
know they
that?
have it at Lonesome Dove sometimes.
I had it in a sausage, so you couldn't really tell. And honestly, it's probably just like venison. Kangaroo are the deer of Australia.
They're kind of like the squirrels, really,
Yeah.
which is weird.
a deer that'll square up with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the jackedest deer you've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Veiny biceps.
Well, that's all I got today. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to, again, rate and subscribe on Apple or Spotify. Leave a review on Apple if you can, please and thank you. 5 stars or 1 star. I'm tired of this half-in bullshit. No 3-star reviews, please.
Well, you can leave your honest opinion.
But give us 5 stars.
Just give us 5. Or I guess 1 if you hate us. But
right.
but the 3,
It's just
Our,
like
our
I
1 stars
can't
just
do
start
3.
going through the roof because Dan asked for no middle.
they're like, fine.
We're going to 1 star you to hell.
Please 5 stars. And then again, patreon.com/softcore history. 2 additional episodes every week. Softcorehistory.com for merch. Thanks for tuning in. For Rob Fox and Jay Goldman, I'm Dan Regester, and you just got soft, sir.